Have you ever heard of a weapon so strange, so out of the box, that it sounds like something straight out of a comic book? Well, during World War II, the United States military seriously considered a plan that fits that description perfectly. It wasn't a super soldier serum or a death ray. It was a plan to turn millions of bats into tiny, living, breathing incendiary bombers. This wild idea, codenamed Project X-Ray, was the brainchild of a Pennsylvania dental surgeon named Lytle Adams. The story goes that Adams was visiting Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico and was completely mesmerized by the sheer number of bats swirling out of the cave at dusk. He was a personal acquaintance of First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt, and after the attack on Pearl Harbor, he sent a letter to the White House. His proposal was simple yet audacious. Strap tiny incendiary bombs to bats, drop them over Japanese cities, and let nature do the rest. The logic was actually quite clever, in a very unconventional way. Adams knew that Japanese cities at the time were largely constructed from wood and paper. He also knew that bats naturally seek out dark, tight spaces to roost during the day, places like attics, eaves, and the dark corners of buildings. The plan was to capture millions of Mexican free-tailed bats, cool them down to force them into hibernation, and then load them into special bomb casings. Each casing would hold over 1,000 bats. These casings would be dropped from bombers at high altitude. As they fell, a parachute would deploy, and the canister would open, releasing the bats. Warmed by the air, the bats would wake up, each with a small, timed incendiary device attached to its body with a surgical clip. They would then fly off and instinctively find shelter inside the nooks and crannies of buildings all across the city. After a set amount of time, the tiny bombs would detonate, starting thousands of small, hard-to-reach fires simultaneously. The goal was to create widespread chaos and overwhelm the city's firefighting capabilities. It sounds absolutely insane, right? But the U.S. government took it very seriously. President Franklin D. Roosevelt himself approved the plan, reportedly saying, "This man is not a nut." The project was handed over to the U.S. Army Air Forces and later the Navy, with a significant budget and a team of scientists dedicated to making it work. They enlisted the help of zoologists, chemists, and engineers. One of the key figures was Louis Fieser, the very same Harvard chemist who invented napalm. His job was to develop a tiny, lightweight, yet powerful incendiary device that a bat could actually carry. He succeeded, creating a small cellulose capsule filled with a thickened kerosene mixture, a miniature napalm bomb. It weighed just 17 grams and had a timer that could be set before release. The team set up a top-secret testing facility in the American Southwest. They conducted numerous experiments to figure out the best way to handle, transport, and deploy the bats. This, as you can imagine, was not easy. Bats are delicate creatures, and keeping them alive and healthy in captivity was a major challenge. But the biggest problems came during the live tests. In one infamous incident at the Carlsbad Army Airfield in New Mexico, some of the armed bats were accidentally released. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They flew to the nearest structures to roost. Unfortunately, those structures happened to be a brand new hangar and a general staff car. A short time later, the bombs went off, and the entire multi-million-dollar airfield base burned to the ground. It was a disastrous, yet strangely successful, proof of concept. The bats had worked exactly as intended, just on the wrong target. Despite this fiery setback, the project continued. It was eventually transferred to the Marine Corps, who refined the deployment system. They conducted a final, major test on a mock Japanese village built in the Utah desert. The results were incredibly promising. Observers noted that the bat bombs started significantly more fires than the standard incendiary bombs being used at the time. The official report concluded that the weapon was effective and could cause devastating damage. It seemed like Project X-Ray was on the verge of becoming a reality. The military was gearing up for full-scale production, with plans to deploy the bat bombs by mid-1945. So, why have most of us never heard of this? Why aren't bat bombs a famous part of World War II history? Well, the answer lies in the timeline and the rise of an even more powerful, more secret weapon. While the bat bomb team was busy wrangling their furry commandos, another group of scientists was working on something far more destructive, the atomic bomb. The Manhattan Project was moving at an incredible pace. By 1944, it was becoming clear that the atomic bomb would be ready soon and would be the decisive weapon to end the war. Fleet Admiral Ernest J. King, the chief of naval operations, ultimately decided to cancel Project X-ray. The official reason was that while it was promising, it likely wouldn't be ready for combat until mid-1945. The atomic bomb, however, was projected to be ready sooner and promised a much quicker end to the conflict. And so, the Bat Bomb project, which had cost over $2 million, a huge sum at the time, was quietly shelved. The story of Project X-ray is a fascinating glimpse into the desperate innovation that happens during wartime. It's a testament to human creativity and maybe a little bit of madness. It shows how no idea was considered too strange if it had the potential to give one side an edge. While the Bats never flew their fiery mission over Japan, their brief, explosive career in the American military remains one of the wildest and most unbelievable secret weapon programs in history. It proves that sometimes the truth really is stranger than fiction. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into one of history's weirdest chapters, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more strange stories from the past. See you next time.